Hello and welcome. I have a YouTube channel now. It's being MsDiva. You can listen to all the episodes on that. And you can also subscribe to it so you will not miss an episode. Have a blessed day. And once again, thank you for listening to my episode. Be blessed. I just wanted to dedicate this episode to just talking and encouraging words, letting women know that has been listening to my podcast that I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening and taking time out of your day to listen to my journey of what I went through in an abusive lifestyle, how I got out of it, when I did get out of it, the struggles I still had to stay out of it. I just want you to know that God knows and sees everything, and there was a purpose and a plan for my abusive lifestyle. At the time I was going through it, I did not have any idea that this was for somebody else. That never crossed my mind. The thought of me helping somebody else never crossed my mind. The thought of me ever getting out of this abusive lifestyle never crossed my mind. I never thought about this being blessing this some other woman that may be going through what I'm experiencing, what I experienced. I never sat down and thought about it. I never sat down and said, I'm going through this for somebody else. Nobody, when they're going through something in their life, good, bad, ugly, or whatever, sits down and say, well, I know I'm going through this for somebody else, so I'm going to just go ahead and go through it and enjoy it. You don't think that way when you're going through an abuse. You don't think that way when you're crying, when you're hurting. You don't think that way. And I never thought that way, that I'm going to be helping somebody else. Never crossed my mind. Only thing that crossed my mind is, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to escape this situation? How am I going to be able to be happy, to not cry, not to be sad, not to be fearful, not to be stressful, not to be depressed? That's the things that crossed my mind when I was in this lifestyle. I know there were some days that it was good. The relationship was good, and some days it was bad. But I didn't think about it when I was going through the hurt, that I know I'm going to be helping somebody else. I never thought about that. So I understand women that that's going through abuse, or have been through abuse. I know that it's hard to want to talk about it, because it took me a while to be able to sit down and talk about what I went through when I was in this abusive lifestyle, when I was in this abusive relationship. It took me a while to even consider abuse. It took me a while to be comfortable in my own body, in my own life. It took me a while to be able to live and not be afraid, to be able to sleep and not be restless, have a restless sleep. It took a while. So I understand, when I say that, if you ever want to have an interview with me, and I understand if, you're not ready. I don't believe I would have been ready if somebody would approach me while I was in an abusive relationship, or when I got out. I don't believe I would have been ready to say, okay, I want to tell my story. I want to talk about it, because I couldn't. It was something that I was so ashamed of, so mistrusting of people, because I didn't trust people, because I didn't know that they would understand. I didn't know that there was somebody out there that had would be a help for me. I didn't know that. All I knew was that I wasn't happy, and I didn't know how to get out of it. So I understand, it takes a while to be able to talk about what you went through or be able to get out of what you're in, because, you hear a lot of people say, well, why didn't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? If he's hurting you like this, why don't you just leave? I heard a lot, when I got why didn't you just leave? I heard that a lot. And I couldn't explain to them because I didn't know myself why I didn't leave. Only that I kept telling myself, every time I did leave, I came right back. So what was the sense of leaving? And, I would come right back. So I stayed in the relationship because I didn't know any better. And yes, I was hurting. Yes, I was miserable. Yes, I was depressed. But I couldn't allow the man to see this, because it seemed like if I allowed him to see any of my emotions of being sad, down, depressed, or crying, it would just make matters worse. He would make fun of me. He would laugh at me. So I kept them emotions of sadness, depression. I kept them buried. I didn't want him to see me cry because, one time he seen me cry, he just laughed at me and said, I don't know what you're crying for. I didn't know how to express myself because I felt that if I expressed myself, I would get hurt even more. So it took time for me to be able to sit down in front of a computer and speak my journey. But I'm glad that I have. And I'm glad that I know that I am helping some woman. I know it deep down in my spirit. I know that I'm helping somebody, and I know that there will be more interviews. And I know that once I get my live stream set up for my YouTube channel, I will be live streaming it. And it will be a help, a deliverance for some young lady that's going through, that have been through, that she has a door. She has an opportunity to talk to somebody who has been through what she's going through and understand the hurt, the disappointment, the discouragement, the failure, the defeat that you feel. I felt it all. It hurt to realize that I'm in a situation where I don't know how to get out of. And I'm glad that I did get out. And when I did leave, I still made mistakes. And, that's going to happen. And, I'm not here to judge you and say, well, you left and you went back and you left and you day. I'm not here for that. I'm here to be a listening ear. I'm here to be that woman that can encourage you, to help you, to let you know I understand. And I'm always here for you. That's why I give you my email. So if you ever want to email me and say, I just need to talk, we could talk. I just want to be able to help some woman. If it's not but one, I'm happy in that I help somebody. And I choose to continue talking about my journey from the beginning to where I'm at now. I know I tell you that I'm 68 and I went through this here abusive lifestyle when I was young, in my 20s. And you say, well, it took you this long to start talking about it? Yes, it did. Because I didn't know how to talk about it without crying. And I didn't know how to talk about it and to share everything, all the abuse. because I still had that shamefulness about myself. But I hid it well. I hid it very well. And I understand when you're going through something. I understand how you have that voice inside you that's telling you to give up. What's the use? This is your life. This is how you're supposed to live. This is what you're going to go through. This is how it's supposed to be. You're nobody. I know that you hear those negative words, him speaking them negative words to you, and then you start speaking the negative words to yourself. I did that. I talked about myself. I said, you'll never be nobody. Nobody would ever want you. Just like he would say it. So I said it. He tore my self-esteem down, and I tore it down even more. Because what he said, I started believing that was true. So I spoke it. This is your lifestyle. This is what you're supposed to be. You should have got out of it years ago. And why didn't you? So this is what is meant for you to be in this type of relationship. I felt bad inside. And I felt I was being belittled so much. And then at the same time, I was being told, I love you. I apologize. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again. So that kept me thinking about leaving. Them days would just escape me at times. Once he started telling me how much he loved me, when we had good days, I didn't think about leaving him because he was showing me love, I thought. I didn't know what true love was. I didn't know what true love felt like. I thought the type of relationship I was in, that was love. I didn't know any better. I'm not saying that my mother didn't teach me, show me love. You know, sometimes we as children decide to go astray. And that's what I went. I went astray. You know, I'm thinking that I wanted a man in my life. Like I said, I didn't see my mother be abused. I didn't hear my mother being cussed out. I didn't. Every now and then, you know, they would argue, you know, fuss. But far as the physical part of my mother being beat, I never saw that. So I can't tell you why I accepted what this man did to me because I wasn't raised that way. So I cannot tell you why I stayed in an abusive relationship when I didn't see my mother being abused. I heard her being told off or cussed out, but I never saw the physical abuse. And she never spoke evil about my father. So I cannot really explain to you why I stayed in a relationship that was abusive because I wasn't raised that way. Manipulation, when you playing a mind game on somebody, is real. It was a mind game I was played. My mind was played. He would speak those words. And he knew exactly what to do, what to say, and how to say it. I was young. He was older than me. And I didn't see it as him not truly loving me because he kept telling me he loved me. But, you know, as I got out of the relationship and as, you know, eventually I stayed out of the relationship, I realized, well, that's not love. That wasn't love that I was in. That was abuse. That was hatred. That was a miserable lifestyle that at the time I didn't see it as being a miserable lifestyle. I didn't see it as nothing but, he gets upset sometimes, but he always tells me he loves me. So I understand, if you're not ready to have an interview and to talk about it, I understand. I'm not here to push nobody for an interview. I'm just here to say, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. We can have an interview. And you don't have to do a live stream it, and you don't have to say your name. If you want to talk, we can talk. And I'll listen. Because I'm not going to say, I'm not going to be a person who accuses you, because that's what you're already in a relationship of being accusing. A man is accusing you, being a nothing. I was accused of, sleeping around, but I couldn't figure that in my life. How am I sleeping around? I'm not allowed to go anywhere. So I understand when you're ready to have the interview, I'm here for you. I'm here to listen. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to lift you up. I'm here to say, you're okay. You'll be okay. It's all right. You're not a failure. You're not a mistake. You're somebody. Because that's all I heard. I was a nobody. So I'm not here to be a person who judges you because of what lifestyle you lived, or you was in abuse, or whatever abuse you went through. I'm not here because, like I told you, I went through every sexual abuse a man could do to a woman. I've been there. I've had that done to me. So I'm not a judger of anybody abuse in their relationship with a man. I'm not that person, because, like I said, abuse is abuse. Whether it's words, whether it's physical, mentally, or sexual, it's abuse. You can abuse somebody with just your words. Like I said, he would beat me, but he would never beat me to the point where you would see it. He wouldn't black my eyes or anything like that. He made sure that you didn't see any abuse on me. So I understand. Like I said, when you're ready, I'm here. I'm always here for you. And remember, God loves you, and so do I. And be blessed, because better days are coming. Your journey and what you're going through is going to help some other young lady be able to go through and be able to escape her abuse. And remember, don't give up. Keep moving forward. Don't stop in that tunnel. Keep going towards that light, because a better day is coming. Trust me, it is coming. Thank you once again. And you can reach out to me at beingmsdiva@gmail.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Being Miss Diva. God bless you.